Good evening. My name is Stefano Carpani. I'm a psychoanalyst and a sociologist. And as usual, I would like to talk to you about a book. This is a book that was published very recently. It's by Routledge. Psychology as Ethics. Reading Jung with Kant, Nietzsche and Aristotle by Giovanni Colacicchi. Colacicchi is a young Anglo-Italian researcher, philosopher, teacher, and he dived into something very interesting, psychology as ethics. Why is it something very interesting? Well, first, because he states Jung's recurrent claim of being only an empiricist is very important. Jung underlines that the analyst learns that ethical problems are always intensely individual, and that collective rules of conduct offer at most provisional solution but never lead to those crucial decisions which are the turning points in man's life. So one can talk about ethic. What is ethic? A way to live your life is ethic. So Jung also underlines that the conscious and the unconscious get together into a responsible relationship. Colacicchi underlines that the unconscious compensatory function consists in an intelligent choice of means, aiming not only at the restoration of the psychic equilibrium, but at an advance toward wholeness. So when we talk about ethic, we have to understand that ethic is something for a philosopher, and Jung actually, through the individuation process, is proposing a new ethic. So becoming yourself would be your own new ethic, whatever it is, the bad and the good. So Colacicchi does this looking at Kant. Everything comes from Kant, actually. Nietzsche, of course, God is dead, and Aristotle. Let's dive a little bit more. In the preface, Colacicchi writes about ethics, the cure of a neurosis. I was free, could dream for hours, be anywhere I liked, in the woods or by the water, and draw. This is something that Jung wrote in 1963, well, was published in 1963. Return to being a diligent schoolboy, overcoming the fainting fits in a short time, which comments upon as follows. The whole bag of tricks was over and done with it, and I myself had arranged the whole disgraceful situation. This is referring when Jung was bullied with some of the schoolmates, and how he actually had to deal with that didn't go to school for 6 months. This is when he could be by the water and draw and in the woods. So somehow he retired from the world. He said, being away from the whole human world. If escaping from one life's task can generate an neurosis, facing it can overcome it. To face it is to overcome it. If escaping from one's life task can generate a neurosis, facing it can overcome it. And then it's very important that Colacicchi looks at the causes for neurosis in Jung. He who does not possess this moral function, this loyalty to himself, will never get rid of his neurosis. And this moral function, actually, loyalty to himself, is actually the new ethic. Also, Jung writes, the chief causes of a neurosis are conflicts of conscience and difficult moral problems that require an answer. Again, Jung, the treatment of a neurosis is in the last resort a technical problem, but a moral one. The integration of the personality, it's unthinkable without a responsible, and that means moral relation to the parts with one another. Colacicchi underlines that the passages exemplify how Jung is inconsistent in his use of the words ethical and moral, at least until the very late paper of the 1958 titled A Psychological View on Conscience. But, following Bibi, who in 1992 wrote, as a student of Jung, equipped with a conceptual language that includes notion of personal shadow, archetypal shadow, and absolute evil, as well as ego, self, and conscious, I can be lulled into thinking I understand this ethical territory better than I do. Jung, therefore, defines a neurosis the self-division of man. After Nietzsche had defined morality as the self-division of man, so if both agree, right, morality and neurosis would appear to be coexistent. Colacicchi is diving into a very interesting territory. I wanted to read you a bit of this book. I would suggest you to buy this book, to read this book, and to enjoy this book. Bye-bye.